you communicate well in writing and in person, can analyze large amounts of information, think conceptually in multiple dimensions, and enjoy making decisions under pressure, consider becoming a broadcast meteorologist. A broadcast meteorologist, or weather broadcaster, is one specialization of the meteorologist occupation. Broadcast meteorologists provide weather forecasts and other weather information to the public via television, radio, and the internet. We visited a broadcast meteorologist to find out more.
I'm Josh Clausen. I'm a broadcast meteorologist, and as a meteorologist, I study the weather, the temperature of the air, the amount of humidity, how strong the wind is blowing and from what direction. And then I figure out what's going to happen with the weather over the next couple of days, put together a forecast, and then explain that to people on TV and radio.
Good afternoon, folks. I'm Josh Clausen inside CTV's atmospheric analysis area with your first forecast. Cloudy skies and
my duties and responsibilities are to analyze what's happening with the weather patterns now and then to figure out what the weather's going to do over the next couple of days. In doing that, I'm analyzing the weather stations and the data that comes in from weather stations across North America. A lot of that data is being fed into what we call supercomputers that will then run mathematical calculations, take snapshots of the atmosphere and spit out models, projections of what the atmosphere is going to be doing at a given time, and then all of those models will sort of give you paint a slightly different picture. So my job then is to figure out which one has the best handle on things and which one is picking up on the trends, I think, most accurately. I attended Mississippi State University, got my meteorology, and then applied for the CMOS, the Canadian Meteorological and Oceanographic Society designation, got that, and sort of moved along in my career. I was in Saskatoon as a meteorologist forecasting, went to Toronto for a little while, and then I've been here in Edmonton for 8 years. The best way to become a meteorologist now would be to take the Earth and Atmospheric Sciences course. And once you get into the meteorology program, the Atmospheric Sciences program, you can branch off into whatever subset of meteorology you want. There are more and more avenues and jobs open to meteorologists than there ever were before. There are oil companies that are hiring meteorologists. There are movie companies that want to know what the weather's going to be like when they're shooting. Broadcasters. 10, 15 years ago, nobody was hiring meteorologists. Now that this information is available and that meteorologists have access to it without having to go work for the government, now there are all these other avenues that you can, for private enterprise, go and work as a meteorologist and use your skills to help these other interests out. When you first start out as a meteorologist, you will generally, one of your first postings will be in a fairly remote location. So your advancements then, as you move along in your career, would be to move towards areas where you want to live. Maybe you want to live in a bigger city, so you would move in that direction. Same goes for broadcast meteorology. As you get more experience forecasting, as you have more experience on camera, as you get better at your job, you have the ability to advance to larger markets. Computers have become the main tool that we use now, and especially as computing power has gotten higher and higher, and the computers have gotten better and better, and the resolution of what we call computer models and the grid sizes that we're using has gotten smaller and smaller, and so you're able to pinpoint now in smaller locations what the weather patterns are going to be. Outside of those computer models, we'll use things like radar, which will detect where areas of precipitation are. Doppler radar will show us what wind direction we're dealing with. During the day, we'll use visible satellite imagery, and then 24 hours a day, you also have infrared satellite imagery, which will take a picture of what the air temperatures are doing and then code that based on what the temperatures are to cloud cover.
Well, the melt will begin, and it looks like it will start once we get to the end of this week, into the weekend.
A good meteorologist is someone who's able to visualize in 3 dimensions. It's sort of a different headspace that you need to be able to put yourself into. It isn't the easiest thing to be able to take what you're seeing on a flat piece of paper and translate it into the atmosphere. Here's what it actually looks like in the air above us. Math is a big skill that everybody needs to be able to understand. You want to be able to understand statistics and what these numbers and averages actually mean when you're talking about them. And then if you're in the broadcast meteorology field, you want to be able to think on your feet. be able to talk off the cuff. You don't have a script. It's not like when you're reading sports or reading news and you've got a teleprompter with the words. When you're doing the weather in a broadcast meteorology setting, you're ad-libbing it. You're just telling people what you've discovered.
So you're done.
When I'm not busy working, there's really no better way to sort of decompress than to just kind of go for a walk. It's busy inside my head with these numbers and trying to forecast and figure out what's going on with the weather. There really is nothing I enjoy more than just going for a walk, nice quiet time to myself to think. The most satisfying part about my job is when I'll call for a blizzard and I know that no one else is forecasting a blizzard or no one else is forecasting sunshine, and I've called for a sunny day, and then I walk outside the next day and that's exactly what's happened. There's a real sense of satisfaction, and it's a daily thing. Every day you've got another shot at either being right or being wrong. Anybody that's interested in meteorology, I would highly recommend that they do it. It's a great job. There are more and more job opportunities available to anybody that wants to become a meteorologist. You're learning something every day, and I think that's the exciting thing about anybody that wants to be a meteorologist moving forward, is that there will always be things that we can discover. Our climate is constantly in a state of change. There will always be jobs for people trying to find out what that change means. Where is that change leading us to? So you're always, every day, learning something new about the weather. I really couldn't be happier with my career choice. There's nothing more satisfying than getting up in the morning, figuring out what's going to happen with the weather, seeing that happening, and then getting out and explaining that to other people, what's going to happen over the next couple of days. Yeah, I look forward to doing this for many years to come.
To become a broadcast meteorologist, you'll need a combination of knowledge and skills in the area of synoptic meteorology and forecasting, and television or radio broadcasting. If the occupation of broadcast meteorologist interests you, there's more information available, including educational requirements and salary ranges in the occupational profiles on ALICE. You may also be interested in the related occupations of announcer, meteorologist, or reporter. Learn more on the ALICE website and make the most of your future. Visit us at alice.alberta.ca.